Yo, what's up, family? Before we start the video, please leave a like, subscribe, and share to any and everybody that you can, just so we can get out there a little bit more. Without further ado, let's get into the video, man. The Celtics lose 107-97 to the Golden State Warriors in TD Garden, Game 4. A golden opportunity for the Celtics to just not take the life out of the Warriors, but like to just put them in a stranglehold. For if they would have won this game, they would have 3 straight chances to be champions. It's very hard to blow 3 games for a championship team, which the Celtics are. The Celtics are a championship level team. That's why they're here at the NBA Finals, obviously. But again, the thing that worries me so much, and is the reason why the Celtics' last 2 series have gone 7 games, is because they have these stretches where they play like middle schoolers for absolutely no reason. It's so puzzling because when they play the way they're supposed to play, they blow teams out. I don't remember the last game the Celtics played like perfect game, their brand of basketball, for as much as you can during the game, and they did not win by double digits. From this turnaround in January to now, when the Celtics have played perfect basketball, their brand, or just even close to it, because of course not every game is going to be perfect, or just close to it, they've blown teams out. Bucks series was 7 games, but the Celtics had 3 double-digit wins in that series. 3 out of their 4 wins were double-digit wins. The Bucks only had 1 against the Heat. The Celtics, every single time they played great basketball, they blew the Heat out. They were almost at 3 double-digit victories until they almost puked on themselves in Game 7. But it's just that, you know, you've seen them turn around this season. Back of our heads as Celtics fans, and like people who cover them or people who just talk about them, is like, when are they going to revert back to the old Celtics? The old Celtics, it seemed like every single fourth quarter they got into this ISO ball, stagnant offense, shooting threes, not attacking, and doing the complete opposite of what got them the lead. That's the most frustrating part about all this shit, is that they see what works, they do what works, they get a lead, and when they get the lead, they immediately get comfortable. Not even a quarter, immediately they get comfortable. And there's possessions throughout this game. Of course, I'll talk about how they just started chucking up threes in the fourth quarter. Of course, I'll talk about that. But before that, it's just possessions where you could have got all the momentum if you would have just slowed it down and got a quality shot. There were so many points in this game where you're like, okay, if you score here, you could really put some pressure on them. To extending it to like 10 or 9, which they never did, or having to put the pressure on the other team to score. And every single one of those type of possessions where it was like, okay, you score here, that's a big push, it might cause a timeout, you know what I'm saying? They either shot an ill-advised 3, they took a stupid shot, or they turned the ball over. Every single time. Smart had a pull-up 3. I think Jalen had a 3. Besides that, the Celtics just have to play their brand of basketball for as close to 48 minutes as they can. And when they do that, they blow teams out. It's baffling, and the most baffling part to me is Tatum. And if you know me, you know I love Jayson Tatum. But the thing for me is, he's a superstar player, right? Everybody has subpar games. Everybody has bad games. But Tatum's bad games, they're astronomically bad. They're not average. A bad game for a superstar is supposed to be an average performance, bro. When you look at his numbers, you'll say, okay, you know, he wasn't that bad. No. But you can just see that his impact was nowhere near Game 1, where he scored 12 points. But he had 13 assists, and he was controlling the game with his playmaking. Game 2, he was hitting all these shots, most of which was in the first half, I believe. Yeah, in the first half, he had like 4 or 5 threes. And then he just started jacking shots in the second half. This game is the nightmare for Celtics fans of Tatum. This one is really hard to explain, because it's not like you can point out a thing where it's like, oh, the Warriors did that. They played great defense this game. Their defense turned up much higher than it was in the previous games. But as far as Tatum, there wasn't one thing where you point, it was like, oh, Golden State did that and that stopped Tatum. He was going against Bjelica, turn the ball over, getting stuck. He was going into the paint, getting too deep, foul hunting. Again, it's just so puzzling, bro. How he goes from game 2, foul hunting, it doesn't work. He has numerous turnovers. Game 3, he sees that it didn't work in game 2, so he stops doing it and he goes strong, even though he's missing so many layups. Game 3, he was at least going strong. This game, Tatum's just going too deep. And then he comes back after seeing that foul hunting is not the answer in game 3. He sees what he's doing is working, going to the basket and creating for others. And then he comes out the very next game and goes back to foul hunting. Your head coach should not be calling you out in game 4 of the NBA Finals about foul hunting, bro. This is the NBA Finals. It's now or never, bro. Tatum cannot have another bad game. I will never forgive Tatum if he does not will this team to a fucking ring, bro. He has 3 games to show up, because as mad as I am, as upset as all Celtics fans are at Tatum, all this shit can be forgiven. He's had bad games throughout this whole playoff run. He's made up for it every single time. Game 5 against the Bucks, he was bad. He had 3 bad games in that series. Came out, game 6, scored 46 points. It's all forgiven because you won us the series. Heat had a couple bad games there. Came back, all forgiven. All forgiven, bro. Game 1, this series, shot bad, but his impact was there. 13 assists. Highest assist total for anybody in the finals debut ever. I'm taking that over this game and game 2 any day of the fucking week, because his impact is there. The thing with Tatum is 9 games out of 10, if Tatum's having a bad shooting night, you can visibly see it on him. He cannot shake the frustration of him having a bad game. He's not getting back on defense. And then when he finally hits one, he's throwing his hands up in there like, oh, finally. Like, no, bro. No. You miss a fucking shot, you get back. You miss a shot, you have to get back. This is the Golden State Warriors. This isn't the Heat, bro. The Golden State Warriors are pulling up for threes in transition. They're looking for the 3 in transition. 90% of the time, they're looking for the 3. Especially if Draymond's grabbing it and running. He's not looking to shoot it, and you know that. He's looking for Steph. He's looking for Clay. He's looking for Poole. Even Andrew Wiggins, who was phenomenal this game. Hustling, getting rebounds, scoring, timely shots. Like, Clay was bad, but he came through at the end. All forgiven. Like, it's so quick how games, performances, and narratives can change when a guy just comes through at the right time. Tatum could have had the same game, but if he hits a couple of shots in the 4th quarter, has a couple of assists, it doesn't mean anything because he came through at the end. Yeah, we're going to talk about it, how he shot bad. He looked bad for most of the game. But if he comes through in the 4th quarter, none of that shit matters. And he didn't do that. Now, Tatum just has to trust his mid-range shot. Actually, he just has to trust himself. He's relying on the 3 way too much. And the turnovers, 6 assists and 6 turnovers. Bro, like, Tatum started the 3rd and 4th quarters with turnovers. 4 turnovers in the 3rd quarter. Tatum had 3. At the beginning of the 3rd quarter, it was like 5 minutes, and he already had 3 turnovers. The foul hunting shit does not work. When he does that shit with his arms, he gets into bad positions. He's either forced to take a bad shot, which in those circumstances is a turnover because they're pushing it, or he literally turns it over. And the Celtics didn't commit a lot of turnovers. Like, I think it was 16, but like 90% of the Celtics turnovers are live ball. 90% of the Celtics turnovers are live ball, or that's what it seems like, because every time they turn it over, it's a run out. But it's just crazy how Tatum can have these games where he's just not a factor. It's just this simple. He's not finishing. At least game 3, he was going to the rack strong to finish. This game he wasn't finishing, and he was going weak. It's like his mentality is weak right now. In the games where he has bad shooting games and like he's invisible, his mentality is weak. Like, his killer instinct is not there at all. Smart took some ill-advised shots, but I would rather Tatum have Smart's mentality, Smart's dog mentality. 95-94 with about 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. These are consecutive possession results. Jaylen Brown 3, contested miss. Tatum 3, missed. Smart 3, contested, but he had to take it, so it was at the end of the shot clock. Miss. Offensive rebound. Smart 3, same possession. Miss. Right after offensive rebound. Contested. Didn't have to take it. Out 3. Contested. Miss. Next possession. Out 3. Make. The adjustment is Rob is playing that free safety role. He's lurking. He's checking Draymond. Draymond can't score for shit. So when Rob leaves Draymond to contest a shot, the paint's wide open. There's endless offensive rebound opportunity, and for some reason, no Celtics player comes in to help to defensive rebound. So 197, Rob contests, Wiggins. Draymond gets the offensive rebound, passes it out to Curry. It's like 1 minute left. We needed that possession, so be it. Stop him, right? Curry gives it back to Draymond. Draymond gives a nice pass to Kevon. Hits a layup, 5-point game, right? Then Brown cuts on Thompson. Thompson's playing great defense. The passing lane is not there. Smart forces it for no reason at all. Brown somehow catches it. Bobbles it because it was a bad pass anyway. Klay Thompson's just sitting right there on Brown. Brown turns it over. No reason for Smart to force that pass at all. Got Brown to turn over. Come down again. Next possession. Derek White 3 miss. That's ball game. I just read possessions for 5 minutes at the end of the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 possessions. A string of 9 possessions. 8 threes, 7 missed threes, and 1 turnover. You have 2 of the best scorers in the game. How does this happen? This should never happen again. 9 possessions, you take 8 threes. You miss 7 of them. And you turn it over 1 time. There's no way this should happen. So I'm gonna leave it at that. Tatum has to play better. Steph Curry is fucking amazing. Like, I know people have grown accustomed to him hitting these great threes. I haven't yet. I haven't grown accustomed to seeing somebody hit such incredible shots. And it just is what it is. But he scored 43 points and it came down to the wire. Every game he's gone off. And they've needed every bit of it. Poole came up a little bit. Wiggins played great. Draymond was trash, but he came up at the end with that offensive rebound. Kevon. I really thought Kerr taking Kevon out the starting lineup was really gonna hurt them, and it did. But the Celtics just made offense so hard when they could have just been dumping it down to Al and Rob in the paint every single play, but they just made offense so hard, and the Warriors were able to climb back in that without Kevon in the paint or nobody in the paint to challenge Rob and Al. So Klay Thompson, like I said, had a good game 3. Didn't have a great game, but he came through in the fourth quarter, all forgiven. That's all Tatum has to do. Brown was solid, and I really thought Brown was gonna pull this off without Tatum. If you're up 3-1 as a fan, it's in the back of your head, who's the Finals MVP? If Brown would have pulled that game off without Tatum, Finals MVP for sure. But 2-2 headed back to Golden State. I got Celtics in 7 because they, on the road, it's not a problem at all. They have at least 2 road wins per series. That's almost unheard of. Every series they played, they've won at least 2 road games. It's crazy to think of, but sometimes you just wish they didn't make it so hard on themselves, which is what they always have to do. Again, if they win the finals, all forgiven. All of the heart attacks throughout this year, them giving Celtics fans a hard time, not just closing out games. If they win, all forgiven. So please, if you like the video, please leave a like, subscribe, share to any and everybody that you can. That being said, I'll see you guys for game 5. Well, after game 5 in Golden State. Peace.